Welcome back to my Pathfinder. Since I began this project, I have certainly thought about the various ways that I wanted to make this Pathfinder informative, easy to use, and full of interesting resources. The topic of this Pathfinder, Banned Books Week, was one that I felt encapsulated everything that I wanted this assignment to do, which was to provide students with an issue that was relevant to them on a day-to-day basis and something that they could easily get involved with. It was important for me to do more than present an interesting issue, as I wanted students to take what they learned from this Pathfinder out into their lives and use what they find here, especially with such a large and multifaceted issue like censorship. I also like this topic because it works so well in libraries and schools. As I gathered resources for this Pathfinder, I decided to start by seeing what other libraries have done. With a quick Google search for Banned Books Week LibGuides, I found several college and university LibGuides that covered this topic. Here you can see the University of Memphis LibGuide and a resource that I did choose to incorporate on my own Pathfinder, the really fun and visually interesting ALA infographic. Another example of a resource that I found on a LibGuide is the Interactive Bans and Challenges map. I also found other LibGuides to be incredibly valuable because they had information from other foundations and websites that I'd never heard of, so it really expanded what I was able to use on my own LibGuide, or Pathfinder. My most valuable resource. That's a really difficult question because I liked just about everything that I used on my Pathfinder. My favorite collections of resources can be found on the author's point of view, where I was really happy to include resources that showed that it was more than just books, such as the Fighting Words for graphic novels, but I thought it was incredibly important to really bring out what authors think about this issue because they are so integral. If they didn't write books that people were challenging, it wouldn't be an issue at all. So having it from the author's mouths was incredibly important, and I picked authors that I really liked and who had just honestly great interviews. The other collection that I loved was the Get Involved page. Having a virtual readout section, having Twitter, because incorporating social media was very important to put into this. I wanted to flesh that out a little bit more, but I didn't want to overdo it, so I kind of left it at just Twitter. So that is something that I would have liked to do more of in the future. I would definitely take that into account more, just more social media, maybe just have a page entirely for social media. I love both of these pages and the resources. The Get Involved page actually has my least favorite resource, which is the 2015 Reading Challenge. I did want to include a reading challenge on this Pathfinder, but there weren't any great ones. I didn't want just a list of banned books, so this seemed a good alternative to that. But it wasn't the strongest connection. It still is pretty fun. I'm probably going to do this myself in the future, but for the purpose of this Pathfinder, it was probably the least valuable resource that I had. In addition to social media, other resources that I would want to incorporate on this, and especially for additional information, is I would include news feeds that kind of pick up on what articles are out on banned books and censorship, so that way students can get a feel for what's happening right now. And I wasn't sure how to do that, at least through Weebly, so I think that in the future I would also consider choosing a different platform. Looking at a few of my classmates, I really liked Wix. I think I might use that instead in the future. And even for doing screencasts, I found that having more than one option that you're familiar with was very important. For my first two, for the database screencast and for my presentation, I used Camtasia, and my trial ended. And so for this reflection, I'm using Screencast-O-Matic, and the difference in features is significant, so I would definitely take that into account in the future. So that did impact my assignment, I feel, and I wish I had been more aware of that when I started doing the screencast portions, because I probably would have done something more to stay with Camtasia, or just choose to go with Screencast-O-Matic, which doesn't need a trial version. So I hope you enjoyed my Pathfinder, and thank you so much for a wonderful class, and I hope you have an excellent holiday.